Hi, and thanks for stopping by and chatting with me, Aunt Nikki. This is going to be about, this is by Mig Vapor, who makes my Bug RX, the silver vape pen that we talked about last week. And this one's actually called Ziggy. And this is in Pink Explosion. I don't know if I can... Very easy to your charge is the same little miniature there, USB. Simple to turn on. I'll go through that in a minute. As far as battery life, it's lasted me longer than 24 hours on one charge. And I'm going to show you how to put some oil in this cartridge. So this cartridge is different than the last. It is a wick cartridge, but if you see down in there, the silver part does not come out. So you have to be able to get it in between that little spot there. So all I've done is unscrew the mouthpiece, and I'm going to set that down. I've been warming the syringe up that has the oil, and my oil's in there. Let's see, it seems pretty warm. Let's see if we can get it to, let me pull the cap off there and get that bubble to go down so I'm not squeezing out any, just in case I'm squeezing out oil, which I didn't. I just got the air bubble out. So let's see. You're going to stick the needle right in between. Try to aim it down as far as you can. And I do a little bit, and I turn my pen, and you can see that it's awfully thick going in. But you've got to leave this sitting straight up for at least 30 minutes. My first use with this one, I actually let it sit, and see, I'm not going to put no more in, but I draw back on my needle, and I'll leave that sitting like this for a little bit, and let that oil come back down out of the needle tip. So let's do some magic here with my hands. You can see I've got a nice full cartridge, but there's still air down at the bottom. We have to let this sit straight up. Let me put the cover on that. Close that up. So, before I screw it in there, let me just cover this needle. Where'd I lose the cap? I'll sit it over here. Actually, I have another cap. But I can even still see it bubbled at the top. But let me cover that. I'm getting it everywhere. But I'll tell you what, I've minimized my loss a great deal by warming up the syringe. I actually put it underneath one of my breasts, okay, for you guys. I'm not saying, you know, don't be putting it underneath your balls. I don't know if that would work. But the girl at the clinic tells me to do this. Personally, I've added, you know, hot air, held it in my hands, did the old really quick. Okay, now, so I'm not laying this down on its side because you can see already it's already trying to go on to one side. We just screw it in, and I get a hold of it down here to make sure it gets screwed in tight and we're not moving this mouthpiece around, because you've already tightened that and you don't want to like over tighten it or cross thread, because we all know how fun cross threading can be. So this vape pen, you got to click it 5 times to turn it on, which is most. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then it's flashing to tell me it's going to work. And then twice, and it's going into a preheat mode, which is so cool. I don't know if anybody else is doing really thick oils, but it's almost because it gets stuck in the mouthpiece, and you're kind of like pulling, and you feel like, what the hell happened? But with the warmer, it kind of keeps that oil flowing. So, and then you hold down on it when you take a hit. I didn't get, I got some up in the mouthpiece. Okay. And it's not, you know, like before, I don't do big clouds. My asthma kills me as it is. But with this one, not only is it mad tiny and very discreet, not like we can tell anyway who's vaping what today, but, you know, ideally that it's small, you know, fits right in between your breasts. But I don't recommend saving or holding on to anything with a battery that could ignite on its own anytime. Not saying these have. Anyway, 5 clicks to turn it off, and then it would be turned off. But the preheat is totally worth, it was $13. $12.99, and I got it in exploding pink. They have, I think, 6 or 8 colors. I forget right offhand. Awesome. That is Mig Vapor for all those vape heads out there. Part 2 of this review is anyone who's in New York State, and I'm up in Binghamton, New York, but this is Vireo. This is where I get my oil from, and this is supposed to be 19 THC to 1 CBD. I have learned one thing by going to this place, and I don't know if you know, if you don't know, but with the medical marijuana, originally up here in upstate New York, we don't get to smoke flower. It is only pills, vapor, or edible, or lotion. So the vapor at first was, the woman sent me home with a pen, and it had like the cartridge, it's already pre-filled. It did nothing. And yeah, I'm a stoner, so I know what works and what don't work for me. Long story short, distillates are now being introduced to our dispensaries. It is still a vape, but if you go into regular, you know, states where it's recreational, you go into there and you make sure you get a distillate vape pen. If you've already vaped and you know what I'm talking about, it burns in your throat and you're coughing, or you can't take a big hit because the vape expands so quickly. This little baby doesn't hit so hard, and it doesn't burn your oil either. But a distillate is what you're looking for. I'm telling you, there's a huge difference. I was blown away. I was like, I took 3 puffs originally. Now I've been smoking this vape oil for a while, so it doesn't really hit me that hard. But this is perfect if you don't, well, 1, if you have asthma, and 2, if you want something handy, cute. Guys, I got it in black, green, blue, rainbow. I mean, I've got them in every color. Thanks again for stopping by and chatting with me, Aunt Nikki. You can check out my other videos, like and subscribe. If you guys have any suggestions or questions, please do leave your comments. I do respond to everybody, and I do read all of my posts. Thanks again for stopping by and chatting with me, Aunt Nikki. Signing off.